Hello, welcome to Wide Left Sports. And today we have one of our frequent interviewees, Great Falls High football coach, Coda Tchida. Coda, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. Good to be back on. Honestly, I forgot how many times it's been, maybe like seven or eight, but it's always good to get on and talk about Bison football and be on your podcast. We love doing it. So thank you for having us.
Of course, I love having you on. And it's funny when I scheduled you and TJ, who I'm going to have on after, there was like four or five other Great Falls High athletes that were like, "Hey, we want to come on," and I just love that.
Yeah, no, again, we try to push people towards things like this. It's good to get, the football program out and about in different towns, and it just means that they love it, which is a good thing. So as many Bison as you want to have on, even if it's not football, we're all for.
Love that. Love that. So, my question is to start this out, I guess, what has it been like this year? We were talking a little bit before we got on, and your schedule is kind of a gauntlet there at the beginning of the year. What has it been like to coach through that?
It's every year has its own, challenges. And, this one for us was, losing 28 seniors, a good group that, started varsity for 2 years. And we're kind of back in the situation when last year's group was juniors, where, we're fighting to build a program again. We're fighting to build camaraderie within a whole nother group. It's a whole nother group of starting offense, defense, special teams. It's a whole nother deal for us. So again, it's been a slow, consistent climb for us. We're really young in a lot of spots, but the kids are, like I say all the time, they're a scrappy bunch, man. They'll fight to the end, whether we're down, against Gallatin 42-0 or we're up against Skyview 42-0, man. They fight to the end. They're passionate about the game. They're coachable. They love football and they love to play for the Bison. So again, it's been a different challenge for me coming into my fourth year than it has been the last three, because we were so well established at places. But again, it gives these kids a chance to establish themselves this year. So next year we're one of those older teams, and it's just the ebbs and flows of high school football or any sport. You got a lot of seniors, you're going to lose them. You got to rebuild it and figure out what's best for this team and put them in the position to be as most successful as they can be for our team in the long run. And again, I think we're doing that as a coaching staff, and we're just learning new things every day. It's just like we do in teaching, man. We learn every day and we try to get better from what we do in the classroom, and we're doing the same thing out there on the football field and in the film room. So it's been an experience and a good one, and I love being around these guys, and I'm excited for us to play Belgrade on Thursday night.
Yeah, there's a lot of Thursday games to end the year here. It seems like I think they said there's like eight.
Yeah, we're up. We go to senior next week, so we play senior on Thursday next week too. So we get two back-to-back Thursday night games. So yeah, again, at the end of the season, refs shortage a little bit, so it's good to kind of get a Thursday game in if you can, and we're lucky enough to get two.
Awesome. So that actually kind of leads me into another question for you. And you said you're lucky enough to get two. So do you kind of like the Thursday games? Because when I was in school, they strictly played on Friday.
Yeah, again, I think it's double-edged sword there, right? You come off a game against Gallatin where we're a little roughed up, just being how physical they were. That then you got to turn around and game plan for 3 days and play a Belgrade team that wants to come up here and win a game against us on a Thursday night. So that's tough. But then on the other end, they get that extra day off after the game. So if we can hopefully come out here and play to our potential on Thursday night and get a win for Great Falls High and kind of set us up in conference a little bit better now, that'd be great going into Friday where they get an extra day off for us. So that's a good thing. So I like different challenges. I think Thursday night games are great when we're home. When we got to go away to Billings, that's a long trip, and we get home and have to go to school. No, I'm joking, but it's. I think it's a good experience for kids to change it up and have games on Thursday night, and I'm all for it. It doesn't bother me one bit because, again, football, you get one game a week. So if they want to give us one more day to just play a football game earlier, I'm so up for that all the time.
Love that. So, what is your team like preparation wise before the season? And then now that they're in the midseason swing, what does their day to day look like for them?
We're honestly right now, we're trying to get as healthy as possible. It's been a struggle for us all season, just being we played so many physical football teams, not saying we're not, but just bigger teams than us. We're a little smaller in some areas, but again, we'll scrap for every inch. So I love that desire from our guys. But again, we're lifting weights 3 times a week. Most of them are obviously in weights class with me. We're filming every day at lunch, Monday through Thursdays. And then obviously we have football practice after school, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Obviously this week we have a game on Thursday, but even on a Thursday we'll practice half pad and do our pregame routine there on a Thursday. So again, they pretty much live here with me those 4 days. And then, it comes Friday and it's a game day, and kids are very excited to walk the halls in their jerseys and be a part of that. And again, I love that part of football when kids can show their pride on a Friday night wearing their jersey to school, or if we're away, we're all dressed in our travel gear as well. So again, it's just about being part of a team, being part of family, and just getting the best out of these guys, whether we win or lose, as long as they have a great experience. At the end of the day, they're going to remember their bus trips, the wins more than they are anything else. So I just want to make it a great experience for anyone who plays Great Falls High football.
I love that. So, you talk about the kids getting to wear their jerseys and the traditions of Great Falls High on game day. What does it mean for you to be a part of that? And then, of course, get to coach at Memorial Stadium. And going into your 4th year now, you've done it a little bit.
Yeah, it's wild. Like when you're in college, I went to MSU Northern and played football there, and you go to college for the opportunity to become a head coach, and I got to do that in Moab City, Idaho for 6 years, and got brought up here to be a part of Coach Sampson's staff in the hopes of one day taking over. And when you do, it's kind of like a shock to you in a good way, because I prepared myself for it every day when I was with Coach Sampson. I learned from him. I was trying my best to do everything in my power to make myself a better coach and see the ups and downs of it and the grind that it takes to be that. And I knew I could do it. Even before he decided to retire, I thought I could become a really good head coach. And again, I'm still growing every day. Again, if it's wins and losses that, determine whether head coach is good or bad, then, I'll leave that up to the other people. But again, I think I relate well to all the kids here at Great Falls High. I have a good relationship with them. And, we're just trying to build it day by day, man, hour by hour, trying to teach them life lessons along the way. And again, coaching at Memorial is special. I love it. I'm excited for our seniors on Thursday night. It's senior night as well, which is just a big opportunity for our seniors to, not play their last home game here, but one of their last. And again, I never take it for granted that I do get to walk down the hill as the head football coach at Great Falls High. It's a special thing. It's a crazy fraternity to be a part of, all the great legendary coaches that have coached here and won state titles. And again, hopefully down the line, we're in there or in it this year and surprise some people. But obviously that's the goal. But man, I'm proud of the fact that I am the head coach here, and I don't take it for granted one minute, man. It's a ride that I enjoy, and I'm excited that I get to be a part of it.
I love that. So my next question is kind of an ode to you. So whenever I interview a Great Falls High athlete, whether that be a football player or someone that's been in your weight class, they talk about how much they just love you. What does it mean to you as a coach and as a teacher to have that kind of love from your students?
Well, again, one thing that I've always said is, I'm going to be myself, and I don't try to put on some fake facade and turn into somebody that I'm not. I'm 100% honest with these kids. My door's open right now during the interview. They can come in and talk to me about anything. And again, I push them in the weight room. We don't take days off. I'm going to push them physically, mentally, and we're going to get after it. And one thing, that I pride myself on is pushing them to their limit, and I think kids respect that. At the end of the day, when they leave Great Falls High, and I can use a million kids as an example, like a Schaefer Garness, who's playing for Montana Tech, one of the strongest freshmen on their team. Mason Crawley went to Dillon, he's redshirting, but he'll play a really big role down the line at Dillon, or Isaac Tolan, who's playing and not redshirting right now. Those guys, or Dane McMahon at Northern, he texts me, he's like, man, coach, your class, it made me so strong. I'm one of the strongest kids on the team as a freshman. And those things, when you get to hear them come back to you, thank you, coach, for pushing me so hard. That's why we do what we do. It's not for self-gratification. It's not for me. I'm doing it for them, so they're prepared. as athletes, whether it be football, soccer, basketball, I have all different athletic people in my class, and I just want to do what's best for them, so my heart's all into the weight room 100% of the time. They know I love it and I'm passionate about it, and I think you have to be a teacher. If you're not, they can see right through you, man. If you're
Right.
not if you're not yourself, they know right away, and they can see it, and you gotta bring it every day and have that energy. Whether you have 5 classes and then you got to go to practice, you can't lose that energy. You got to bring it every day, and I strive to do that.
For sure. So then you kind of led into this next question with bringing up all the guys that are in the Frontier Conference. But how cool is it that there are so many Bison represented at all the different schools across Montana, whether it be Frontier or any of the schools in Montana?
Yeah, again, this even goes back when Coach Sampson was still head coach. We still have Levi Torgerson, who's crushing it at Montana Tech, right? Just awesome games every week. Peyton Gonzru starting at Montana Tech, Zach Newton, who's starting at Montana Tech as well. And then, my group started to come in there. But what it does show me is that our kids are passionate about the game of football. They don't walk away after high school and say they don't want to try to play football. They want to try it at the next level, whether they succeed or not, or whether they're a starter or not. They leave our program wanting more. And I think that's a big part of what we do at Great Falls High. It's not, we don't just look after them just here at Great Falls High and football's over and we're just like, oh, we're done with you. Man, I follow these guys. I help them out as much as possible. If they want to go play college football, whether it be junior college, NAIA, if they get an opportunity to go play at the bigger levels, man, I will try my best to get their name out there and push them forward as long as they're willing to put in the work. And I think that's really resonated with our kids as the last 4 years. I mean, yeah, we have a lot of kids that have went on to play Frontier, which shows how crazy it is, how good your team has to be to win a state title. Because we've had a lot of guys go, we just haven't came close to getting to that spot. So those Wests and the Glaciers and the Capitals, I mean, they've just had 15, 16 kids on their team that are just so outstanding, and they can make a run to a state title, or Bozeman as well with Coach Weshy. I mean, he's done a great job with a bunch of guys as well. So it's crazy how much talent you need on a AA football team to actually win a state title. And hopefully down the line, or even this year, we'll get an opportunity to play in a playoff game and kind of show what we're about. So it's awesome to watch all those guys on Saturdays. My phones blow up all the time. I'm lucky enough this Saturday, I'm going to go watch Montana Tech at Northern and Havre. So that's going to be fun to take a picture with seriously 12 to 15 Bison on that football field on Saturday. So I'm excited to go.
That's awesome. So my next question is about you, being a Northern alum. How cool is it to see Coach Sowers up there getting a few wins under his belt with the Lights?
Yeah, again, me and Coach Sowers have an awesome relationship. Last 2 years before two-a-days start, he lets me come up, watch practice, be on the field, go to the drills, critique any player. Doesn't just have to be a Bison player, help out. This year I got to speak to the team at the end of practice. That was pretty special for me, being that I'm a Havre guy. Played for the Lights for 4 years, started in 40 some games, whatever it was. I love that school. It did a lot for me. It's the reason I'm here at Great Falls High, is because I got my education there from an awesome teacher who taught physical education to the best of her ability, and she was amazing. She's actually at the game when we played Gallatin last week and said hi. It's just cool because Northern's its own little part of Havre, and once you're there, you're never not a part of that family, whether you see someone for 10 years down the line or the next day. Everyone still remembers you as part of the Northern Lights and everybody else that's a part of it. So it's a special school. I think Havre's a special town. And I'm very thankful that Coach Sampson gave me that chance, an opportunity to transfer back home and play football for the Lights. It was a special time in my life, and we had a lot of big wins back then, and I'm acting like I'm super old. But it was fun. And again, I cherish all those moments that we got to play in those big football games back when I was at Northern.
I love that. So, my next question is about the family ties that are at Great Falls High. I know right now you have Reed Harris's little brother on the team, and I believe you also have Wyatt DeVos's little brother on the team too.
Yep.
So what does it mean to have those guys, that were absolute studs for the Bison, now have their little brothers on the team as well?
The cool part of that is they're also different from each other. Like Wyatt would I would have never said this before, but Coulter's even more quiet than Wyatt is. And Wyatt was pretty quiet, not in a bad way. Coulter shows up, does his work, doesn't complain. He just dominates, and does what he does. Reed was a little bit more outgoing to a point, but Steele's a little not in a. Reed was very competitive, but Steele really puts that chip on his shoulder. Like he really wants to be great. Not saying Reed didn't, Reed did, but he shows it more. Where Reed was like, I'm good. I'm good. I can do it. Steele shows more emotion than Reed does. So it's cool to see how different they are. But again, it also shows that being a Bison means something, to that family. They want to be Bison. They're not trying to find another way to go play somewhere else. Man, they're bleeding blue. They're all for Great Falls High. They love being a part of it. They want to be on Memorial Stadium, our home field, every Friday night, and they want to wear our colors, which again are the best in the AA. So I think it shows that we do it right, and families want to be a part of it, and the kids love Great Falls High football. Man, we have a great group, and they continue to strive to be great, and that's all I can ask as a head football coach.
That's so awesome. And then, talking about the Harris family, obviously, Reed Harris is doing pretty dang well in Boston College. How cool is that to see him do so well?
Yeah, again, he's just an athletic freak. In the best way possible, man. He was such a good track athlete when in state in the 200, taking second in the 100. I mean, I think that just showed how athletic he was off the football field, but it did translate for him. I think track's so important for those football players that look at him now. I mean, he's catching touchdowns at Boston College, making a name for himself. Whether or not he goes to the draft this year or next year, he'll be in the draft at some point. And I can't imagine someone doesn't want a 6'5", 225-pound wide receiver on the outside who runs a 4.6. I mean, he's just special. Again, Great Falls High loves him. Whenever he's back, he always stops by and chats. And again, I think he loves the school and what it did for him. But more than that, I think he's kind of put Great Falls High on the map, and people kind of watch us because of, hey, Reed Harris played there, and now his little brother's doing really good things on the football field for us as well, because Steele's an absolute stud on all three phases of the football game as well for us. So we're blessed to have the Harris family be at Great Falls High. I know I can tell you that for sure. And we're lucky Steele's a junior. We still get him for another year. So we're excited about the rest of this year, obviously, but just to see what he'll be as a senior, it'll be something to watch.
Oh, that's amazing. So I guess as we kind of wrap this up, how do you want to see the rest of your year pan out? And then what is your goal for the end of the year?
Yeah, again, we played a really tough schedule, as you said before, but again, our goal here is just get better every hour. Every day we need to get better 1%. Leading up to this big game against Belgrade on Thursday night, which is senior night, we need to improve and show that we can make improvements going into Thursday night, and then we'll worry about the rest. This is such a young team that we can't look 3 weeks down the line, 4 weeks down the line. We have a huge matchup on Thursday night. All my focus is on Belgrade. That was my message to them at lunch today. We got a team that's coming in here that wants to beat us, and we got to be physically and mentally prepared for that. Along with that, that's my high school rival. So I am always looking to be 110% locked in to every team. But Belgrade, to me, is someone that I have been rivals with since I was a sixth grader, So it means that we got to go out there and perform really well and walk off the field at 9:00 with a big win at Great Falls High and putting ourselves right back in the mix to be a top 4 team in the playoffs on the east side. And I think our team's capable of that. And again, thinking and knowing are two different things. Now we got to go out there and execute at a high level in all 3 phases. And I think we'll do that on Thursday night. And I'm excited to see how we come out and play.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you again for coming on and talking about Bison football. And for anybody in the Great Falls area that hasn't been to Memorial Stadium, you have to go. It's absolutely beautiful.
It will be on Thursday night. It's going to be a nice fall night. So hopefully we have a bunch of people there for senior night showing up to see a Bison win on Thursday.
Heck yeah. Well, again, I want to thank you so much for coming on, and have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, man. Talk to you later. Go Bison.
Talk to you later.